Hi, everyone. Well, my guest has been on the show before, and he's back to, he's back to talk about a very special project. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk again to Mirza Nabeel Baig. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me again here.
For sure. By the way, did I pronounce your name correctly this time?
Yes, that's fine. It's Mirza.
Okay, so I just want to start by saying that this is something you started because at one time you were homeless, correct?
Yes, it's true.
So now you just take it away and talk about what it is you're going to explain.
Yes. So there was, number one, I want to tell the listeners that there was a time in my life when I was doing really well in my life. And then certain events happened that rendered me homeless. I lived homelessly for over a year in different cities of Canada. And I experienced and endured harsh weather condition and a lot of inhumane things in my time as a homeless person. And what I do currently is I advocate for homeless people. I think that society has stigmatized them and do not see them as humans anymore in general. And I think I want the people to know that they are still human beings. What my research and what my work has shown me, that people have started seeing them as junkies, druggies, criminals, but they have forgotten that it's the system which caused that homelessness. It is not their fault of their own. I definitely never wanted to be a homeless person. And I'm an educated person, and what happened in my life made me become homeless. And and I would also like to mention here that the institutions, the organizations, who are working in the homelessness domain, though they are doing good work, but at the same time, it's not efficient or it's not sufficient enough to remove homelessness. I, on my own, or with the help of those organizations, was unable to come out of that misery. I had to get my family support and reach out to them to make sure that I can stand on my feet again and again become a functioning part of the society. So this is what my message is to your viewers, that we need to do more. And we do, my company name is Panache Consulting, and I have a non-profit business naming Panache Homeless Elimination Society. And we are working on a plan. We have a plan. We are chalking it down into brochures and infographics these days, where we are outlining that how we can fight this problem and how we can efficiently remove this curse from our society. And if it's okay with you, Nancy, I can elaborate more on that plan if you can.
Please.
Okay, so I'll quickly explain the condition and facts before, and then I will explain that what we think should be the solution of this problem. So currently, let's focus our problem to Greater Vancouver area first. Currently, there are a study done that there are 5,000 homeless people in GVA, which is a big number. And remember, society is as strong as its weakest link. And a lot of people are dying. There is expenses being done, like police support is required, ambulance support is required, and there are a lot of shelters, the food, and all that stuff is happening. So governments have a lot of programs running. I will mention one of that program, which is National Housing Strategy. The federal government has allocated $70 billion of our taxpayer money on that program, and the program is tailored towards affordable housing and removing homelessness from our society. So remember that figure, Nancy, it's $70 billion with a B. Okay, the condition is that since that program has started since 2017, the homelessness in Canada have increased by 20%. Okay, so we are dumping a lot of resources, a lot of funds in one for one problem, but the problem has been increasing. So it has increased 20% in the last few years. And the cherry on top, Nancy, is that there are 20% Canadians from our population who are a couple of paychecks away from becoming homeless again. So this is the dire state of our society in which we live currently. Okay, I will not go on the other problems we have, but let's focus on one problem, which is homelessness. So now my question is that why? If we are putting that much money of our money, it's the taxpayer money, we pay taxes, government allocate that money towards a problem. So when you're putting this much money, why the problem is not getting solved? Okay, so what my research has shown that the industry, the homelessness industry, has commoditized homeless people. They're not solving the problem. They're just giving them small solutions like to eat or to wear, and that's pretty much it. This will never solve homelessness problem, even if you put $200 billion to remove it too. What we want to advocate towards is that we saw a video on World Economic Forum in that project. It was about a project which was done in Eastern Europe. In that project, they 3D printed houses for homeless people, and it's not a big house. It's a small house with a bed and a table and a chair in there, and maybe a communal washroom for people, for the population. The cost of each house, 3D printing each house, was $4,000 to them. So now there are 5,000 homeless people. If you want to give each person a house, that's 4,000 multiplied by 5,000. The number is 20 million only. And then you buy a land somewhere 15, 20 kilometers away from Vancouver or JVA or wherever you find the cheap land. You put all those houses there. So maybe 15, $20 million is the cost of the land. So $20 million for land, $20 million for houses, put $5-10 million for extra expenses. So the total cost of this project, Nancy, is $50 million. In $50 million, you can house every homeless person away from a city. So your streets are fine now. There is no crime. There is no drug. There is no prostitution on your streets. It's safe for the people. It's safe for the women to walk through. Okay, there are no incidents happening because every homeless person is housed in a town. The homeless person are gathered at one place and they have a home now. They can work together, and some organizations can work together to rehabilitate them. Okay, so a town, let's call it a Nancy town. That's the name of the town is Nancy town. Their house there, $50 million was the initial cost. Now you have mental health resources there. Psychologists, psychiatrists can come there and provide them free mental health. Then there is a life skill academy we can make there. We can teach them marketing, modeling, writing, acting, drama, whatever they feel interested in. People can volunteer and teach them a class, a week, maybe 2-hour class, 1-hour class. And after a few months, when we have imparted those skills to those people, then we can start a HR consulting firm there, like people who has learned marketing for 2 months. Yes, I understand it is not equivalent of a marketing degree in university, and they might not get a job for $100,000, but at least Walmart or some organizations can employ them for reduced compensation, maybe $30,000-40,000. But at least it is something. It's a big jump from being homeless to have a reduced paid job. So something like that can be worked on also. And then the last program which we want to advocate towards is for that 20% people which are about to become homeless. For those people, now we have housing, we have mental health resources, we have life skill academy, we have job placement. So we have everything with us. So if any one of those 20% people need help and want some support, they can come to us and we will rehabilitate them too. So I think this plan doesn't require billions of dollars, Nancy. This plan is much cheaper. And we want people to know about this plan, and we want this plan to get in effect, because I don't see any other way with which we can actually solve this problem for good. I will also mention there was an article published last week in Business in Vancouver. I posted that article on my social media as well. There was a research done between British Columbians, and an overwhelming majority of British Columbians said in that survey that they do not trust their government to eradicate homelessness. They do not trust their government to do that, which is exactly what we have been saying all along.
Yeah. Why do you think that the government hasn't come up with like what your solution is? Because I mean, I'm here about like apparently not far from me, there's going to be affordable housing going up, but I'm told, and I don't know, that the rents are still pretty high for those places. That if you're
Yes.
homeless, how can you afford that?
You cannot.
Solution, right?
You cannot. So again, and I will say it will offend some people, but I will speak my mind.
Yeah.
I have been receiving hate mail and threats already, so I don't care. It puts a target on my back, but it's okay. If one life can make a positive change, why not? It should. I think the government's or the affordable housing or the scheme which government is employing is not making a positive solution.
Yeah.
Because again, the decisions are taken by people who have their interest involved in these things. Like $70 billion, Nancy, is going somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere is taking it in their pockets. And if homeless people or homelessness is solved, this money will not flow in their pockets. Very simple, very simple answer. I don't want to take out names, but again, we have been reaching member of parliaments. We met one of the member of parliament, Salma Zahid, last week, and we have been trying to reach to the higher authorities also. But again, it's a difficult path. It's getting traction is not easy, and especially when we do not have a lot of resources to do so. But again, we are trying to somehow raise our resources. We are not doing any fundraising campaigns, but we are trying to generate our wealth on our own. And if we are able to generate $40-50 million, trust me, Nancy, we'll put it all towards making a town for homeless people and giving them a house. Also, at this point, I will mention, Nancy, that Finland did a study and they provided houses to their homeless people. They went with a housing first model, and they realized that once homeless people have a house to live in, their drug and alcohol intake reduces, because now they have a hope to restart their life.
Right.
And they make actions or they take decisions which are conducive or supportive of their rehabilitation.
Right.
So these studies have been done. These facts are very much open out there. I don't know why government is not reading them the way we are reading them. And I don't know why there is no strong cohesion again with this idea that just provide them cheap housing. We are talking affordable housing. We are talking about making builders or compensating builders to make affordable housing, but affordable housing is not affordable.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not affordable. How can a homeless person pay a rent of $1,200, $1,300 a month? They just cannot. They just cannot. And especially when they are hooked on drugs and when they are hooked on certain aspects of things where they don't have that much money. We have to show them love. We have to give them zero cost housing, and we have to take it slow. Trust me, love and hope is the only solution for every problem.
Right.
And we think from dollar, we think from economics. As long as we are thinking from economics and giving dollar priority, we will be penny smart and dollar stupid kind of a thing. We will keep on incurring more cost. We will keep on not able to solve this problem.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because I had somebody on my show a while back and we were talking about, those small houses, right? And how certain cities have an area set up for small housing. Chilliwack at this point doesn't, because I would give up my condo in a minute and move into one of those little houses, because at least you have a little bit of property around, even if you don't want a big yard, but a little bit, but we don't even have that, which is something I don't understand. I mean, they're still not affordable for the homeless, of course, but people who fall in those between the cracks, like you said, the working poor.
Yeah.
They still need something. If they could own a home, that's just maybe a tiny little place that $20,000 instead of $750,000, right?
Dollars. Yeah.
And Vancouver, it's even higher.
And just imagine, Canada is world's second largest country. So it's not like we are short on land.
No.
We have so much land.
Yeah.
We have so much land. I don't understand why the decision making is done in this way. It does not make sense to me. We have so much land, we have so much resources, we have lumber here, we have freshwater resources, we have such an educated and working class people. We should be able to solve these problems more creatively. But I don't understand that why and why not we are fixated on the traditional methods of looking at things. I really, I'll be honest here, I don't have high hopes from baby boomers anymore. They are set in their own ways, and they might not look at these problems creatively, but I do have high hopes from millennials and Gen V, Gen Y, and Gen X that they might look at these things and they have more passion towards solving these problems. Because look at what is happening on East Hastings, Nancy. Just driving by there and looking at both sides actually melts my heart. They are human beings. They can be your brothers, they can be your sister, they can be your children, they can be anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Well, I would think that people would be inclined to listen to you because you've been there.
Yes.
You know, like if you're talking to, say, the words coming from like a politician, for instance, you know, well, if they haven't been homeless, then people don't really want to, maybe don't want to listen to them because they're not talking in street terms or the same terms that you know, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's like if you're a drug addict, you might listen to somebody who's been who's a former drug addict,
Drug addict. Yeah.
rather than somebody who's gone to school and learned about how to talk to drug addicts, you know, like,
Because certain things you only know when you actually go through it.
yeah,
Otherwise, you just cannot relate to them.
right.
So I really hope that my words or other people who are thinking of a permanent solution to this problem, their words or their vision is heard. If you or any of your viewers have any suggestion for us, please let us know. We are always looking for suggestions, or if you have any contacts with the local politicians or maybe media even, we would like to come there and we would like to further our reach or further our mission and vision. We are really passionate in solving this problem literally every day. Me and my wife give a plethora of hours towards this thing and discussing and reading and trying to find a solution and finding a way forward. I am working on a documentary on my life. The idea is that if it gives some kind of resources, we will use that and use towards solve solution of homelessness. I'm also lately started thinking of writing a book on this to educate everyone around us that how big of a cost we pay by having homeless people there as a society. So yeah. It's not fair that we as a Canada give them money somehow, some like as a government give them money in every month to survive, but then some people from other hand take the money from them in the name of drugs by providing them drugs. So it's a legal way of taking taxpayer money, which again is something we as a society need to discuss and think on and find solutions to.
One of the things, like my experiences, you know, I used to volunteer and it was just on the street, and it was in the evening when and people, my friends would say, "Oh, be careful, don't go out at night." You know, there's all these people out there. It's like, they're people. They're just people. First of all, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to go walk down by myself down a dark alley.
Yes.
Like I'm not dumb, right? You know,
Yes.
but from my experiences, you see somebody and you say hello to them.
Yes.
I usually respond in kind. Sometimes I ask for money, but I don't give my money. I don't have a lot, so I don't give my money. But if they were hungry, I would certainly take them to a restaurant and buy them
Restaurant,
you know, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people, and I think perhaps, as you said, baby boomers, a lot of them are afraid. They think that people on the streets are gangsters or they're going to attack you or some such thing, and it's being misinformed.
Yeah.
You know,
Myself and my wife talk to a lot of homeless people.
right.
I go to East Hastings. I've realized that people have started knowing me there also. when I go there, I find some familiar face and I stop and talk. Because I'm not scared because I lived on that part of the world, side of the city. Yes, I agree. Some of them can be dangerous.
Yeah.
But again, the people who are at home, they are dangerous too. They do drugs too. They are gang members too. So classifying only homeless people as this is not a fair assumption. I'm not advocating, or I'm not saying that you put your safety in hand and just go out at night and meet them. No, in daylight, just say hi. Or if they ask for you money, because I never asked, I never in my time I never begged for money.
No.
But what I did was I remembered that my body would feel having a cigarette and I would not have money. So I would pick cigarette butts from the street. That was the fair state of affairs I was in. And yes, I agree that they do ask for money, but again, what do you expect from a homeless person to do?
Some do, not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them,
No.
not all of them,
No,
not
many
all
of
of
them
them.
don't actually.
Yeah,
So it's unfair. That's an unfair statement from
yeah.
you know. I mean, occasionally I get asked, not so much anymore.
Look at the condition which we are in, the I would say the poor working class. Is it not difficult for us to make ends meet anymore? Is it not difficult for us?
Yeah.
It's so difficult for us, and especially after COVID, things have gone so everything price has skyrocketed. It's becoming daily, it's becoming difficult, and it's not happening in Canada or BC only. It's happening across the world. I have friends all across the world. I was talking to a girl, she's in UK. Just 2 hours ago, I was talking. She was complaining the same thing. I talked to people in Pakistan and India. They talk the same thing. Everywhere, it's a global phenomena which is happening, that things are getting out of control. And 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 I don't know how things will get fixed, but I can tell you clearly one thing, that politicians do not have the solution. If they had the solution, they would have solved it years ago, decades ago. They don't have the solution. It is their inability, and which is causing all these problems for us in society. And somehow someone needs to put sense in people, and it has to come from a collective argument between the citizens.
Yeah.
That we need to put sense in our citizens somehow.
Yeah.
That the path we are going has not a good end. That's how I see it.
No, I wonder how, another thing when you mentioned, was it Sweden? I wonder why governments don't look at examples that actually work and put them in effect in their country. That is something that, whether it's homeless or something else, that is something I've never quite understood.
Yeah.
They just tend to do the same thing over and over again, rather than trying something that's a little different.
Yes, last year I was in a Zoom meeting with the Minister of Housing. I think his name was Mr. Intikhab or something. I still have a snapshot of that Zoom meeting. So I'm trying to reach out to him to get the answer to these questions. That why it was Finland which did that, and I'm hoping that if I can get a meeting with him somehow, even if I have to fly to Ottawa, I will fly to Ottawa, and I wanna ask him that what were the reasons he or his ministry did not choose to implement the model which was used in Finland. And mind you, that same model was used in Austin, Texas also. So why these two models which showed their success were not chosen in BC or in Canada? So let's keep the fingers crossed. If I get a meeting like that, I would definitely would try to come here again and update on that what happened. But I'm going through another member of parliament to connect with the Minister of Housing. So let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to end it there. Thank you so much once again, Mirza, and thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to put his Mirza's contact information, so if you can help or if you have suggestions, he's open. As he said, send your suggestions or your ideas to him, and he'd be glad to look at them. And thank you for watching the show. And remember to like, share, and subscribe so other people can see it too. Be nice, everybody.
Thank you.
a sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be, a sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.